Maybe the most chilling murder mystery in the last 30 years has come to an end with the conviction of Richard Allen, a huge thumbs down to Kevin Costner in Yellowstone, a major thumbs up to the United States on their election response. I also tell you about the first and only female to ever win the Medal of Honor, and I also tell you about a woman who's donated more breast milk than anyone on this planet. All here on The Bullock today, so let's do it. The mainstream news is so corrupt.
This is unbelievable.
This is wild.
No one is talking about this.
The shootings are just out of control right now.
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
My top story today is the conviction of Richard Allen, who had taken the lives of 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty Gurman back in 2017 while the two young girls were day hiking in their own town of Delphi, Indiana. The 2017 murder case went absolutely cold for 5 years, even though one of the girls briefly recorded a video of Richard Allen on her phone right before her death as he was approaching the girls in the woods. Then in 2022, the former CVS employee was arrested and allegedly had confessed to his wife over the phone to the murders while speaking from a jailhouse phone. The girls actually recorded the killer during their hike in a very creepy video, as you can see the killer walking towards the girls and then demanding that they quote-unquote go down the hill before the video cuts off. The famous words, down the hill, were used to create the podcast Down the Hill and be used in numerous documentaries about the case that did go cold. Eventually, a town clerk interested in the case, searching through old tips, rediscovered that Richard actually placed himself with police on the trail at the time of the murders and reported that tip back to the police, who then were able to link an unspent cartridge found at the scene to a pistol that was also found in Richard's home. Plus, Richard does absolutely fit the creepy figure in the video that was taken on the girl's phone during the hike. Now, I've followed this story for years and have also made multiple videos on this as well, so it's nice to see this case come to a conclusion. It was very eerie to see that a small town experienced an obvious, unplanned double homicide during the daytime, all while the suspect was caught on video, with the suspect living and working in town, and it took 5 years to catch him. Really is unbelievable. Now over to thumbs up and thumbs down. We stay right here in the US for a huge thumbs up here.
Thumbs up, average Joes can play.
Thumbs up to the US of A, as oh my gosh, we've survived another election. I mean that literally, people. We survived. As in, there has been no bloodshed during this turbulent process. We may actually be one of the only countries to be able to say that. This past election season, 34 political candidates in Mexico were murdered, along with hundreds of quote-unquote normal people. If Russia had fair elections, you'd see one political party put the other in the gulags, while in Sudan, they've been at civil war for years and can't even hold elections, while in Ukraine, the president actually canceled their elections because President Zelensky is afraid of losing his power, as who even knows what happened in Iran's recent election after the death of its president Ibrahim Raisi in a highly suspicious helicopter accident, while in Haiti, it's in such a severe state of civil unrest that it's actually impossible to even hold an election, while 30 people were killed recently after Frelimo Party has now held on to power for the 50th straight year in Mozambique, all while China holds a one-party authoritarian political system and actually doesn't even have elections. If you live in the US, absolutely none of these circumstances have applied to you. With these election results, you will still live as you please, walk how you walk, and have the freedom that those who came before you have earned for you to have. You're one of absolutely very few countries, from third world to first world countries in this world, whose citizens actually have somewhat of a collective say on what goes on in their own country, from local to federal. So thumbs up to the people of the US as we can peacefully continue another day. Now, big ol' thumbs down as we head over to Montana. A huge thumbs down to Yellowstone, Kevin Costner and Taylor Sheridan. The new season that's just kicked off of Yellowstone that fans have waited 2 years for was a flop. The main character, John Dutton, played by Kevin Costner, isn't even in this season, as he had personal contract disputes with the show's creator, Taylor Sheridan. It's the equivalent of Walter White being randomly written out of the show Breaking Bad, or Tony Soprano being written out of The Sopranos halfway through, or Jerry Seinfeld being scrapped in the middle of Seinfeld and then still trying to put out new episodes. You can't do it. These two babies absolutely ruined the show that could be a top 5 show of all time, all because they put themselves first instead of their viewers. An absolute disgrace to the storyline, as obviously everyone hates the direction of the show that it's going and are hoping for a swift ending to this show, which that could have been 2 more thrilling seasons if Costner was in it, that at this point I don't think anyone would care if it ended altogether this coming weekend. Now, sometimes we don't realize how quickly time has passed, which is why I bring you to this day in history.
Which specifies the unconditional surrender of Japan.
The president has been shot.
This day, 158 years ago, the first and only woman ever to win the Medal of Honor was awarded the Medal of Honor, which is the military's highest level of distinction one can achieve. Born in 1832, Mary Edwards Walker was a surgeon, abolitionist, and POW during the Civil War. Serving in the 52nd Ohio Infantry, she was the first woman surgeon in the U.S. Army and was later captured by Confederate forces after crossing enemy lines to treat injured civilians. Mary was there serving during the Battle of Bull Run, the Battle of Fredericksburg, and Chickamauga. Mary not only helped Union soldiers, but Confederate soldiers and civilians of all kind during the worst time in all of American history. So God bless people like Mary Walker, and we need to know more people like Mary Walker. Now, a lot of times covering the news can get nasty. You're talking about a lot of bad things, so I will always bring you some good news in this hyperpolarized world we live in. So good news, here we go. Over to Texas now, as Elise Ogletree set a new Guinness World Record for most amount of breast milk donated by one single person. 2,645 liters, which is just about 700 gallons of breast milk, which she has donated to mothers that have been struggling to breastfeed their infants at Mother Milk Bank of North Texas. Quoting her here, "I have a big heart, but at the end of the day, I'm not made of money and I can't give away money to good causes over and over because I have a family to support. But donating milk was a way I could give back. I was overproducing and throwing away milk, unaware overproduction was unique and other mothers struggled. Our first child, Kyle, was in the hospital and I was filling the nurse's freezers. A nurse asked if I was donating, which I didn't know was possible. So kudos. A record that may never be broken." The Daily News Podcast, The Bullock, is out Tuesday through Thursday at 5 p.m. I will be back here tomorrow evening with another Bullock for your world news stories, and I will see you then.
News and factual material are deeply researched through confirming the validity of multiple sources by the broader media landscape across the global sector and the digital world. All statements are a combination of primary and secondary research components geared towards providing the only news show in video and podcast form that provides a clear understanding of important world issues that are being left out by the completely biased and politically driven global media machine. Thank you for listening.